Hey everybody, we are back. It's This Week in Pro Wrestling. Coming off of Hell in the Cell on Sunday. We got a bunch of great stuff to talk about, but we got to introduce the guy with the Houston Astros cap first before we do anything
Our
else.
2017 World Series champions, the Houston Astros, the number one in America. Oh, you mean like the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, and all the other exposed cheater Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, all the record breakers, and the guys who stole the home run record? Are we really going to talk about cheating in baseball? Do you really want to go down that rabbit hole, Mike? If you want to go down that rabbit hole, we could go down that rabbit hole.
We could, but that will be for a different show and a whole different podcast.
Okay.
Wrestling.
Wrestling. So you want to? I'm just warning you. If you want to go down the baseball rabbit hole, I can go down that baseball rabbit hole, and I'm not going to play nice. If you want to do that,
hey, like I said, it's another podcast.
Okay, another podcast.
Day, someday in the future.
It's This Week in Wrestling, and I am the J to the E to the double F-free, Jeffrey Harris, and this is Mike Sandoval, and we are back for another week in wrestling.
Yes, and we are simulcast this week. We're here and on Clubhouse at the same friggin' time.
Clubhouse, great. So if you're listening to us on Clubhouse, if you're listening to us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, thank you very much. But thank you for letting us into your homes, your smartphones, your tablets. Thank you very much.
Exactly. And I think the best place to start this week is this past weekend's Hell in a Cell, because technically Hell in a Cell was a weekend event, technically. First, starting off with Roman Reigns on Friday night against Rey Mysterio.
That's right, because they moved at the last minute. At the last minute, they moved the Hell in a Cell match between Mysterio and Roman Reigns to Friday Night SmackDown instead of the pay-per-view. And then they made Bianca Belair versus Bayley, not Sasha Banks, the new second Hell in a Cell match at the Sunday event. So hot potato musical chairs with WWE. No. And then we got another Hell in a Cell match on Monday. What
do you think was the whole idea behind that? Because it kind of threw me off on Mondays too.
I assume it was a ratings thing. Based on what I heard from Dave Meltzer, they took the same booking, all the plans for Hell in a Cell with Mysterio and Roman Reigns, and put them on SmackDown, according to Meltzer on Observer Radio. And then I'm just guessing, then they because that was on Fox, I'm guessing they had to have another Hell in a Cell match on Raw to appease NBC Universal and Comcast, because you have the Hell in a Cell main event match on Fox, and then I imagine NBC Universal's like, hey, that's not fair. You gave away the pay-per-view match for free. And look, you have to remember, at the end of the day, Fox and USA Network are competing networks. They're competing media companies, the Fox media company and NBC Universal Comcast. So I don't know if anything's going on there, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was some tension there. What do you think?
I think it's a ratings boost type of thing. I think they wanted to make sure that SmackDown's been pretty good in the ratings. It's been pretty consistent. But I'm curious to see what the ratings were on Friday night.
I have the ratings.
Okay.
I can give those to you.
Read the ratings. Let's see. Because I have a feeling that's the reason why they brought it in on Monday, because Monday Night Raw has been struggling.
So I give these to you. This is courtesy of WrestleNomics, Brandon Thurston. So Brandon Thurston, thank you very much. SmackDown pulled a 0.54 rating demo in just over 2.04 million viewers. And that's the final SmackDown on Fox number. The overnight was 0.5, 1.928 million. So the adjusted final number was over 2 million viewers, and was slightly higher in the rating key demo. That's 18. The key demo, by the way, folks, is persons 18 through 49. That's sort of like the main key demo rating that you see get thrown around a lot in news reports.
I'm still part of the key demo.
So am I, fortunately enough. And the ratings demo, I guess it's what Nielsen does to, I guess, sort of give demographic data on who is watching these programs in terms of age groups, age brackets, male and female, things of that nature. Okay, so this was the best viewership for SmackDown since May 7th, which drew 2.282 million viewers in a 0.65 rating. And let's see. It's still under their average for this year so far. So they were like under. Okay, so here we go. The previous week, 0.48, 1.944 million viewers. Mm-hmm. So here's just my opinion. If we're actually going to look at ratings, for last Friday from the week before, you only had a difference of about 600,000, or no, not even like, let's see, just to give correct math, 4 minus 1.944. No, that's not right.
You're going to say, don't take off the shoes. We don't need the old school calculators.
Okay, so it's about 100,000 viewers. Mm-hmm. So giving away your pay-per-view match only amounted to about 100. You got over 2 million, but it's only 100,000 viewers. Does that really matter?
No.
In the grand scheme, was it really worth giving away your? That was a big pay-per-view match too.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns Universal title, that could have been the main event.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Now the rating was a little better, but look about this. Just since May, ratings have fallen about a point. Mm-hmm. So should WWE be worried about these ratings?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think they should. And I think, and here's another idea that just came up to me when you were talking about the ratings.
Okay.
What if they just don't care at this point because they're still in the Thunderdome and they're about to go on the road, and they know that once they go on the road, it's going to get a pop again. It's going to start getting more people viewing.
I do agree with you. I do feel, in my opinion, now I'm not saying WWE is doing this. This is how my opinion from viewing how they're booking this product. I feel they're in a holding pattern.
Yeah.
They're in a holding pattern, spinning their wheels mode because now they have a light at the end of the tunnel. We're going back on tour, July 16th, Houston, Texas with SmackDown. We're going to be in Allegiant Stadium for SummerSlam. That's going to be this year's WrestleMania. They've already sold out. Well, we're going to get to the ticket sellouts or the ticket sales for SummerSlam in a little bit. They've already sold out a huge, not sold out, but they've sold a huge number of tickets for SummerSlam 2021, which is going to be a huge show. So I feel like they're just really prepping for when they get back on the road.
Yeah. Because and I agree with you on that, because I watched the pay-per-view on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like it didn't live up to what the pay-per-view standard is on WWE.
But I feel like that's not isolated. I don't think that's isolated to Hell in a Cell. I think it's been a lot of pay-per-views, and I feel like it's been a systemic issue since before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Even before the Thunderdome.
I agree.
Really? Okay, so I have the Raw numbers too. Monday Night Raw ratings. Once again from Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. Raw did 1.719 million viewers and a 0.49 rating in the same key demo as SmackDown. Rating was even from last week's demo, and last week's viewership, it was slightly lower. but by a negligible amount. This week was 1.719. This last week was 1.742. And this week they had a Hell in a Cell. But look,
Yeah.
Raw is 3 hours, and Raw is just a slog.
Yeah.
Raw should not be 3 hours because they're just struggling to get 3 hours every week.
Mhm. It's
But
almost like when
yeah,
they had Stone Cold and The Rock and Triple H and
yeah,
everything.
and
What?
Undertaker.
Yeah, and Undertaker, and it wasn't hard for them to get that 3 hours.
No,
It seems like now it's a little bit tougher to
but
get
they
that
but
three
they
hours.
weren't three. I mean, the roster was stacked back then, but
Yeah.
the show wasn't three. It wasn't 3 hours until a few years ago. I want to say
No, I thought it was longer that they went to the three
no,
hour format.
no.
Should it's been that soon? Show.
Raw
Yeah,
used
I
to
thought
be
it was,
only like 2 hours for a long time.
yeah.
Here we go. Raw expands to 3 hours to 2012.
2012. Shoot, it
So
wasn't
it's been so it's well after. So about
maybe
I
10
want to
years.
yeah. So the Attitude Era, I would say, basically ended like 10 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah.
You can maybe pinpoint it to 2002.
Hmm.
I kind of see WrestleMania 17 as sort of like the end of the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
really, or maybe that's more like the very peak,
Hmm.
and it ends maybe like after 2001.
Yeah.
But 2002 is sort of, to me, is sort of the end of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. I just, I do agree with you though. 3 hours is a long time to try and put a show together.
Well, it's 3 hours, and we're seeing the same people every week,
Yeah.
and the same matchups. They're just, they're repeating the same matchups
Hmm.
and things of that nature.
Well, at least this week we didn't get Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley again.
Again, we'll get into that a little bit, but first, let's just do a quick recap of Hell in a Cell
Definitely.
2021, because we were talking about it last week. So I think we both predicted that Roman Reigns would beat Mysterio easily, right? And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happened.
That was pretty obvious.
Okay, so on the pre-show, Natalia beat Mandy Rose in a singles match. That was a kickoff show. Bianca Belair beat Bailey. I think we both predicted that, but we didn't know it was going to be Hell in a Cell at the time, as I
Hmm.
recall.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins beat Cesaro. What do you remember predicting for that one?
I went with Cesaro
And I think
just
I
because
picked
of
Rollins.
just because of the history of the matches that they've
Hmm.
had. I picked Cesaro.
It was a good match, though.
Yeah, it was good.
Alexa Bliss beat Shayna Baszler. 5-star match of the year candidate, Michael?
No. I mean, it was better than what we've seen. It was better than what we've seen, but it still wasn't.
I don't know. I guess let me just say, I think Alexa Bliss is a great worker and a great personality.
Oh, so do I. I think she is too.
I just think
I
it's
just
this
don't like this
storyline.
gimmick.
This
Yeah, I don't like this
storyline.
storyline.
Like, where is it going?
That's what I would like to know. It's already been long enough where we should already by now and it started last year when Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt,
All right.
the Fiend thing, and she appeared thinking that we were seeing Sister Abigail, and then
And
it's
then
just
he
kind of like
mandible
not.
this all yeah, and then he mandible clawed her,
Yeah.
and now it's evolved where
Hey, that's another show, Jeffrey.
no, he gave her the
I know.
mandible.
I'm just kidding. It's
Why
mandible.
you get your mind? Everyone, get your mind out of the gutter. He gave her the mandible claw on TV. That's what happened,
I
and
know.
he
I
and
know.
he brought her to the dark side.
Uh
But
huh.
then the fiend got set on fire,
Hmm.
and then the fiend lost
Yeah.
to Randy Orton and disappeared again. And now Alexa Bliss is like the king of the dark side on Raw and is causing mischief. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here.
And
I
then
am so confused.
I don't know what the storyline's going. I don't know what they're doing. I don't have a clue on where they want to take this anymore. It's like maybe give her vacation.
Well,
You
I
think
mean, that's
careful.
not happening because look at what's going on the following night. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
When I look at the Raw results. Okay, so then after that, Sami Zayn beat Kevin Owens.
Hmm.
So we had 2 WrestleMania rematches, or
Yeah.
three. We had 3 WrestleMania rematches on this card. So we reversed the results with Rollins and Cesaro and Zayn and Kevin Owens. Zayn and Kevin Owens had a good match here too, I think.
Yeah. It was fun. It was worth watching.
And apparently Kevin Owens is taking some kayfabe time off now.
Hmm.
I don't know the full story there. Meltzer on Observer Radio says it's a storyline, him taking time off. So I guess we're just gonna have Sammy kind of just soaking it up for a little while.
Yep.
Okay, and then Charlotte Flair. Oh God, Charlotte Flair beat Rhea
Okay.
Ripley by disqualification
I'm not the only
because
one who thought that match was kind of like, ugh.
that was a letdown. Uh, what are the rules with the table? The table is never like you never get disqualified for hitting someone with a piece of the table before.
Yeah. I don't know. I was so I was turned off of the match like halfway through, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
Here, like, why would you book? Like, why would you? I know maybe you don't want Charlotte to lose to Ripley, but I mean, then why even book the match on pay-per-view? I don't get it.
Is it? Do you think this is all a make good for what happened around WrestleMania
For who?
for Charlotte?
Well, how is having her win by a non-finish on pay-per-view? How is that a make good? Like, what are they making good on exactly?
Well, they're putting her in a lot of matches and trying to really
Well,
build.
I mean, that was the case before she had some time off and was not on TV for a little bit uh
Yeah.
and everything. I mean, let's not forget last year at WrestleMania, she beat Rhea Ripley and
Yeah,
became NXT champion
exactly.
and won the Royal Rumble. So, like, what are they like? What would you have to make good for with Charlotte Flair at this point? You know?
Very true, but I'm just saying about the Andrade things and what happened. That's what
Oh,
I'm. That's what I'm
oh, and
thinking.
the pregnancy in the false pregnancy test,
Yeah,
apparently.
and all that other stuff that happened, and
I
why? Because
because
I know she wasn't happy. I know I was
hmm,
reading a couple articles where they literally were kind of like pointing out how she was not happy with her not being a part of WrestleMania.
but was that what was the cause of her not being at WrestleMania?
There still hasn't been an official case of why. There hasn't been anybody telling why she has been out.
Is it
Because I even from what I've
n-
seen, nobody has really
wait?
given.
Oh, did she have COVID?
Well,
She had
yeah, that was the thing that they said that she had COVID, but now we're hearing there's been reports saying that it
is
wasn't
it
COVID.
like so here I'm losing track of this stuff because like we have said like just in the past few months alone, everything that's happening off screen is like more exciting than what's happening on TV these days, you know?
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
wrestling is so crazy.
That's why, like, okay, I got a quote in
You can make a soap
Sportskeeda.
opera. You can make a soap opera off of all this drama that's not
Yeah,
even happening on TV every week, and
yeah,
it's more
because
dramatic. It's more dramatic than what's happening every week on Raw and SmackDown.
yeah, because Sportskeeda put something up, and there was a quote out of this saying, WWE Raw superstar Charlotte Flair has admitted she felt devastated after being left off the card for WrestleMania 37. The 35-year-old was reportedly set to face Lacey Evans in a Raw Women's Championship match at this year's event.
Okay. All right. On March 22nd, she said she had COVID.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not really other than that issue with the pregnancy test. That's not really WWE's fault
Mhm. Yeah.
because she might have got it from Andrade, right? Because didn't Andrade have it?
Yeah, I believe so. But there's only one way to clear everything up. We invite Charlotte Flair to come onto the show, even though she probably can't talk about it yet. And if that's the case,
And
I'm good.
Andrade,
You can
Andrade,
come on
you're
the
welcome
show.
here too.
Exactly. And talk about it and really let's put everything because a lot of it that we're hearing is all there's no a definite answer. I do know that
Okay.
she's been kind of like upset because she wasn't on WrestleMania, which I get.
She's
But
one of their biggest stars, though.
exactly, and that's why we need to
I
find
don't
out the truth.
I don't think this is a make good though, Mike, because she was, getting booked a lot and was in the main events before.
Do you think it's
Uh
writing though?
before
Because we're seeing this in the men's division as well, where for the last couple weeks it was Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre for more than a few weeks, and now we're seeing Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley somehow tying it up
well,
more
she's
than a
been
few weeks.
involved. She's been involved with those ladies since she came back after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I think it's just maybe there's a bit of a catch up because things didn't go as planned as at WrestleMania. Because wasn't Lacey Evans before she got pregnant and left TV? Wasn't didn't they have title plans for her?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what the reports were saying.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just such a wild and crazy world. I got to
Well,
tell you, everything
yeah.
happening that's not on TV is more compelling right now.
Yeah. Do you think they need to shake it up? Shake up the Raw roster, shake up SmackDown.
We'll be getting into that in a little bit because there's some news on that front.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so now let's get into Raw a little bit. We had Ricochet beating AJ Styles.
Oh, I
Ne-
forgot we were gonna get into Drew McIntyre in the hand.
yeah. Oh.
Because I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
been.
Bobby Lashley beat Drew McIntyre again in the Hell in a Cell match.
Mhm.
So as a result of the loss, Drew McIntyre cannot get another title shot against Bobby Lashley as long as Lashley is champion. It was a garbage finish because MVP was able to get into the cage after the referee got knocked out, and another referee had to unlock the cage to get in and send in another referee. He held McIntyre's leg and distracted McIntyre, and Lashley got a schoolboy roll up. So that was the finish. It was
Yeah.
not the reason I forgot about it. It wasn't memorable. Yeah, and there's Sting the Hand
Yep.
from the Addams Family making a cameo.
Exactly.
What the
And
hell?
I don't know what the hell happened here.
Why did we need like Kevin Dunn? You cut the camera angle so much you couldn't cut the hand
Exactly.
out of the.
Well, I heard they also had a crash pad for
Was that what he was moving?
possibly because somebody said that there
It
was a
looked like he
crash
was moving
pad.
the table pieces.
Yeah, because somebody was saying that McIntyre landed on a crash pad, and
McIntyre's back was torn up after that
oh
match because of
yeah,
the cane shots.
and here's the thing, like everybody's like, oh well, he didn't just. People were kind of pissed that he landed on a crash pad. I'm like, dude, fall from that high with no
I mean,
protection and see how much it hurts.
watch the Dynamite Kid documentary on Vice TV on Dark Side of the Ring. Dynamite Kid uh severely injured his back in 1986 just during a random house show. Just got a knee to the back. Now that wasn't the only thing that hurt his back. It was the sustained punishment probably over many years. But
Yeah.
the straw that broke the camel's back, or the princess and the pea, was just a random errant knee strike to the back. Nothing major. And his discs, he had two discs dislocated, and he had to get both discs removed because they were all tangled up in his spinal cord. And as a result, he had to lose the WWE Tag Team titles. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't mind these guys taking some precaution when it's their health and livelihood, basically,
exactly. I agree with you.
because the bumps. I think Arn Anderson was the one that said every bump is like a little car wreck. So think about
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Think about how devastating a car accident can be on your body.
Mhm.
A devastating car accident. And bumps in a wrestling ring or outside the ring is like a little car wreck. So every time you take a bump, It's like the body has only so many bumps, like a good boxer.
Yeah.
Like a good boxer has only so many hits to the chin they can take, before their chin goes away, right?
Yeah.
For the wrestler, like, with their backs, their knees, whatever, it's a similar thing. Even though they're calling the action, it's predetermined, blah, blah, blah. It's fake. The bumps are not fake. The bumps take their toll on their bodies. So if you're going to complain about Jericho crashing into a bunch of boxes or Drew McIntyre using a crash pad, I just can't agree with that, because it's their health and livelihood. And if they're doing like some minor things to kind of help extend their careers, I don't really mind that so much.
Yeah. And it's like, if you want to know what it feels like, go ice skating and fall on your back. Because when you fall on your back, it hurts. And these guys are muscular, they're in shape. It still hurts.
Yeah.
It's like, shoot.
But the hand reaching out and doing stuff and catch and not adjusting the camera when they're constantly overshooting everything, that I do not like.
Yeah, I agree.
I also do not like the red cell. Why is the cell red? It looks horrible. It looks horrible.
I like the old school where they look like they just put it up and built it,
but
like right before the show was supposed to start.
That red cell, Mike, it makes my eyes bleed.
Yeah.
In fact, that was a lot of what I saw of Hell in a Cell on Sunday. It was a sensory overload. Like, they have lights flashing above the dome when the matches are going on. I'm like, what is, like, it was giving me a headache. I was getting a migraine from watching it. All right, so now let's go to Raw from Hell in a Cell. Ricochet beat AJ Styles. Ricochet actually had a match and won a match.
I know, I'm happy for that one.
Naomi and Asuka beat Ava Marie.
Oh, this one is just Dewdrop. Who in the world decided to name her Dewdrop?
I have some suspicions. I don't know.
Because why didn't they just use her? She's already known at NXT UK. Why change the name? Or unless to make her seem smaller.
They had. Did you see that promo where she was like mouthing the words Piper Niven?
Yeah.
So they're saying like the implication is that Dewdrop is like the insulting name that Ava Marie came up with. But why do the announcers not know who she is?
Exactly.
Like, the announcers know there's NXT UK, so the announcers are not going to like fight for, hey, look at Piper Niven here from NXT UK. She's being treated like garbage by Ava Marie, who's insulting her by calling her Dewdrop. And it's spelled D-O-U. Oh God, I feel so bad for Piper Niven.
Same
here, and 1 week after her debut, she's already betraying Ava Marie. She's already rebelling against Ava Marie. So what is going on with that?
I really don't. Like, I was just like, I saw the whole thing and I was just like, and Piper Niven is a good wrestler.
She is. She was great in the Mae Young Classic.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you haven't seen her wrestle, go to Peacock, watch old episodes of the NXT UK.
Watch the Mae Young Classic.
And watch the Mae Young Classic, because she has the skills. And I just don't get why they put her in that
role. I feel bad for Asuka too, for that matter.
Yeah.
And Naomi for having to. And look, I just feel like if you want Ava Marie to be a star, like, give her, like, there are not some enhancement talents or extras you can put her in the ring with to kind of like guide her and make her look good. Why not do that? Why does she have to be in there with Naomi and Asuka right now? Why not build her up a little bit and have her? Why can't she wrestle enhancement talents for a little bit, or just kind of? Yeah.
Was she ever in NXT?
Yeah, she was. She had some matches in NXT.
Okay, because I was about to, like, I didn't
Yeah,
remember seeing her in NXT. That's
she
why.
was. Yeah, she was in NXT.
Because
But uh,
to me,
like,
it
do you
always came
remember like
across
those
like,
old? Do you remember the old? They had good jobbers back in the late
yeah,
'80s, early '90s.
yeah. But see, with Eva Marie, it always seemed like the only reason why they had her on there in the first go around, was because of her looks, and that's what it felt like. Because there wasn't really any wrestling skill.
I mean, I think that's probably the main look. I'm not going to begrudge Ava Marie wanting to be a wrestler or a WWE superstar. I just think there's a better way to book her if you want her to be a bigger star than the way they're doing it right now.
Yeah.
And I would just put her in there with jobbers or women who know what they're doing, who can help
Mhm.
make her look good and build her up a little bit more before you have her start feuding with all these people.
Yeah, just like
Like,
Lana. Lana didn't look good, but then where she was doing it more, it looked better.
well,
She
not
took it as a
anymore.
moment. Yeah.
Do you remember Jim Powers or do you remember Iron Mark Sharp, guys like that?
Yep. I definitely do.
Like those guys, they put those guys in there with like Mr. Perfect and Rick. Now, granted, Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude, two of the
Yeah.
best wrestlers of their era, but like they would work like some just 5-minute matches with those guys and just let them get their stuff in and just make them look like really badass.
Mhm. I
I'm
agree.
just saying, get some guys in there like Barry Horowitz, Barry Horowitz, guys like that. Get some guys like that. Yeah, get some
Yeah,
guys like
I
that
know.
in there with Ava Marie,
Uh huh.
make her look like $1,000,000 and then go from there. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, and it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all.
So yeah, I don't know where they're going with that storyline but hopefully they'll drop that. If they force that Dewdrop name on her, because that's just a disgrace.
Yeah, I agree.
John Morrison beat Randy Orton, sort of a rare big win.
Hmm.
Let's see. In the qualifying match for Money in the Bank, Riddle beat excuse me. No, Drew McIntyre. Riddle beat Drew McIntyre.
Hmm.
And then in the Hell in a Cell main event, Bobby Lashley beat Xavier Woods. So we had another Hell in a Cell match. And here's what before I get into Money in the Bank, any big takeaways from Raw for you?
The final match with Lashley and Xavier Woods was actually pretty good.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
And they gave him a little bit of time there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Nikki Cross's new gimmick. Can't leave that out. Nikki Cross is now superhero.
Yeah,
What
yeah. That was. I thought she was gonna dress when I saw the
mm,
colors and the mask. I don't know why. I was thinking the Secret Life of Pets
okay.
and the bunny rabbit. Kevin
Okay.
Hart's character.
The Kevin Hart
Yeah,
bunny rabbit.
yeah,
So Nikki Cross team with Alexa Bliss, the former women's tag team champions, by the way.
yeah.
And they beat Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax to qualify for women's money in the Bank, because they started the qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank matches last
Mhm.
Monday. So superhero Nikki Cross, and according to her husband Killian Dane, this gimmick and character are her ideas. Do you believe that?
I don't know. Really don't know. I don't think so because I think I don't know. It's hard for me to say.
Or you think it's like gun to the head?
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
this
it's
is
good.
my idea. This is my character idea. This is my idea. I pitched to
Yeah,
WWE.
I think it's gun to the head because
Uh,
sometimes it just seems like creative is just like rehashing old things.
because we
I
had
mean,
Molly Holly
yeah.
and the
Oh no, and
Hurricane.
yeah, they even mentioned Hurricane in the match.
So I had a very strong reaction to this Nikki Cross thing. Then I started hearing all this stuff about, well, this was her idea. She pitched this character and gimmick. And I like Nikki Cross and like I want her to be on TV. So I'm like, on one hand, she's on TV now. On the other, I really don't like this. So, am I being obtuse here,
No,
Mike?
no, no, not at all.
Am I being
Because
closed-minded?
no, no, you're not. Because you know what? It just
It doesn't work for me.
let's be honest. It caters to a younger generation. It caters to kids, and I don't know what that whole gimmick does.
But I like, I don't dislike that, the kids era of WWF wrestling, but I think I dislike the way they're doing it now.
Yeah, it's just like, and I love Nikki Cross as a wrestler. I just don't like. She was amazing. Like Nikki Cross in NXT was really good.
I think that was the perfect character and gimmick for her.
I agree. I agree. But I don't know for some reason it just seems like creative is just not developing storylines at work right now, and it seems like they're kind of in a pause. And I don't know, maybe it's going to change. Maybe it will change when they go on the road and they start doing some live shows and people are going to say yay or nay,
Okay.
and they hear the yay or nay.
I
But
f-
no.
I feel like it feels forced,
Yeah.
and it does feel like a rehash.
Mhm.
But I mean, the reason I'm
There wasn't anything like they
okay.
worked up to it. It wasn't like they worked
Yeah.
up to this change. It was
Before
just
this,
boom.
she was stealing those like BS wins over the other girls.
Yeah.
Those like beat the clock, or she was winning by count out. It's
Mhm.
like, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to look at it with a bit of perspective, because I want Nikki Cross to be happy and I want her to be on TV, but man, this just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. And I agree.
Okay, so so what we're looking at Money in the Bank. All right, so to give WWE some positive feedback here, I like that we're getting Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston at
Mhm.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So that match is happening for the WWE title.
Yeah.
It should have happened at Hell in a Cell, because we really didn't need another title match with Drew
Yeah.
McIntyre.
And to see Kofi back in a championship match, it's
Mm-hmm.
been too long. It's been 2 years. 2 years.
Yep.
He won the belt in 2019 and then dropped the
And he
belt when they
lost
had the
it.
first episode of SmackDown on
Yeah, and he
Fox.
lost it in 8 seconds
Yeah,
after one F5.
exactly. And I think he deserves it. He's a good wrestler. He really gets the crowd going. Has a great
He's
personality.
and he's too nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
And
Shawn Michaels was not, when Shawn Michaels was a main eventer, he was not this nice.
no.
And when he was told he was going to be dropping the belt to guys, he was not
But also we
unselfish
gotta
about it.
but also we gotta give it to what was going on in his life during that time too
Too.
with Shawn Michaels.
I guess my point is that, a lot of guys that were getting ahead in the business in those years were not, nice, unselfish guys.
Yeah.
They looked out for themselves first.
Yeah.
And
And
sometimes
Kofi
I
could have
wonder,
yeah. And Kofi could have easily
Co-
been angry.
I feel like Kofi's crime is that he's too nice of a guy for this business.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm upset and here's what I'm saying. The reason I'm upset, I thought the way he lost the title was trash.
Oh, I agree with you.
I thought
I
he
agree
was
with
treated like dirt.
you. Mhm.
Um,
I was
John
actually
Cena, even
I was
when
rather pissed.
John Cena got more offense in against Lesnar.
Yeah.
Even though he got destroyed for like 15 minutes, he still got in more offense against Lesnar than Kofi did.
Yeah, because I still remember that Kofi Lesnar match, and I was pissed. I was so pissed because it's like 8 seconds. This is bull.
And he was champion for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was like flash in the pan. It wasn't like he was Bob Backlund.
And it wasn't like he wasn't getting any pop from the fans.
Yeah, the
Like
fans loved Kofi. It
they
was
loved
Kofi
it.
Mania.
Exactly, and they love the fact of seeing him get the championship. That's why I'm glad. And
Yeah,
you know
so
what?
I am glad we are getting this title match, and it's a fresh matchup. So there you
Yeah,
go.
and I would love to see Bobby that match. If Bobby Lashley is gonna lose the belt, that would be a cool person to lose the belt to.
I don't think he'll lose the belt before SummerSlam
Me
because
neither. Me neither. But still,
it seems like there are going to be bigger fish for Lashley to fry. But
yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed to it either because I feel like Kofi deserves it.
I agree.
Okay, and we're getting a rematch between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's title. Who do you think will win that one?
I have a feeling they're gonna keep Rhea Ripley with the belt until SummerSlam.
Okay, no big moves before
Mm.
SummerSlam. So here's what we have for men's Money in the Bank right now. So far, because he beat AJ, we have Ricochet. Because he beat Orton, we have John Morrison, and because he beat Drew McIntyre, we have Riddle. There are apparently going to be 5 more spots.
Yeah.
In the women's one, we have Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and there will be 4 more later. So, well, at least about a month out, they actually have the main matchups ready.
Yeah, and at least they'll be able to build it up to the July 18th date.
Okay. So so Money in the Bank. This one will have live fans at Money in the Bank. This one will be July 18th at Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena. So this will not be the Thunderdome. Hell in a Cell was the last Thunderdome pay-per-view.
And thank God.
I am sick of the Thunderdome. I will be
I hate seeing Rey Mysterio and his son go off to the sides like they're playing off of the fans.
Is it going to be weird when the fans are fully back though? Like, do you think wrestlers? Because I mean, this pandemic has been so crazy. We've had wrestling, without real fans, with some gaps and things in between since March 2020. So we're June 2021 now. So we're talking about 16 months. 16 months. It's crazy. Like almost a year and a half like this. Just nonstop every week. Either the Performance Center, the Capitol Wrestling Center, or the Thunderdome locations. It's been so weird, man. It's hard. Even now, even all this time later now, it's hard to wrap my head around, Mike.
Oh, I agree.
But
I mean, today was the first time we've slowly been going out and covering things from MUSE TV.
yeah.
And it's weird to go back out. And I noticed like holding the camera. Shoot, I need to start working out again. It never used to get tired holding the camera for hours on end.
I know, we've been very shut in for
and now I get tired of holding my camera feels heavy on me like after 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It never used
it's
to be.
It's been a weird. Well, I mean, it's been an unprecedented, crazy time. So it's gonna. Honestly, when I heard that the wrestlers would have to do training sessions to get ready for the touring, it didn't really sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, it didn't. I think you have because they're gonna have to. They can't rely on the Thunderdome type of camera angles. People are gonna be seeing them. It isn't just working on camera. They're gonna have to friggin' sell the show all the way up to the last.
Yeah, we're gonna, it's not gonna be like the Zoom boxer shorts era. And by the way, I'm not wearing only my boxer shorts while I'm sitting down right now, just so everyone knows. I am wearing pants.
An image that I do not need to know.
No, but like you know what I mean. You know what I mean right now. Everyone doing the whole Zoom chat,
Yeah, exactly.
In their PJs at home kind of thing,
Yeah, exactly.
Their lounge clothes.
Yeah, and thank God that's over because I kind of
Yeah.
like wearing.
Yeah. I agree. It's time to get out there, hopefully, and get things moving again.
Exactly.
And now that we're vaccinated, I'm fully vaxxed, by the way. So I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Wrestling is coming back, and I can't wait till it gets back to LA.
I cannot wait. Yeah, I cannot wait for that. Okay. Speaking of which, WWE will be going to Madison Square Garden, so there will be a bit of a homecoming in New York City for September 10th, and it will be a SmackDown TV show. So, how do you like that? WWE is finally going back to Madison Square Garden. One of the first shows they had to cancel was Madison Square Garden in March during the
Mm,
pandemic.
yeah, I think it's great. But one thing that I noticed is that unlike at least they're going from West Coast and they're working their way back East Coast,
Yeah,
kind of like a different like a at least they're coming trying to reach as many places as they
right.
can. So I mean that's great.
Speaking of, Clash of Champions will be Columbus, Ohio at the Nationwide Arena on September 13th.
Hmm.
So they're doing New York City, Madison Square Garden on the 13th. Clash of Champions will be the 13th in Columbus, Ohio. So it'll probably take a little more time for them to get back to LA. But speaking of, you know who is coming to LA is New Japan.
Yes.
So let's see this New Japan show. Okay, so New Japan, their first live US show since February 2020. It will be Resurgence, August 14th at the Torch at LA Coliseum. Okay, so what do you think NJPW's I mean, they've done Los Angeles and Southern California before and they've done some good crowds here. So what do you think about this?
It's gonna be exciting, I can tell you that right now. I think a lot of people are gonna want to be there. New Japan always puts a good show.
Here's who we have confirmed. We have John Moxley. He and his wife Renee Paquette just gave birth to a little girl. Congrats to them. Jay
Definitely
White,
congrats.
Tom Lawler, the Good Brothers, Finn Juice, that's Dave Finley and Juice Robinson, Shota Imino, and TJP. That's a pretty good lineup,
Yeah, it is.
especially John Moxley. Hopefully he'll defend the US title. But what do you think about the Torches venue, though? It doesn't sound that exciting to me.
I didn't even know about it until you brought it up and I started doing research.
Yeah,
I mean, it's literally the where if you could imagine the LA Coliseum
yeah,
where the Olympic torch is,
yeah.
it's literally that walkway in front of it underneath the arches. And I guess they built a stage off to the side.
So how is this going to work?
I do not have a clue.
Do you think they're going to set up like makeshift bleachers or seats, like those riser, like risers with seats on them?
I don't know. That would be great, but I have a feeling that they're gonna do it all standing room.
If it's going
But
to be standing
but it
room,
says but it says it has a premium ringside and they have 6 different levels of seats. So I guess I'm
they're
taking
going
that as
to have some risers or something.
yeah,
I feel like it's going to be like it's going to be all like a built setup out in the courtyard, but
you know.
I feel like they I feel like they could have I think they're being cautious here
Mhm.
for LA in August
Yeah.
cuz LA has been in California in general has been slower than other states. So I
Mhm.
feel like the reason they're doing it like in an outdoor venue is for caution,
Yeah.
I
And we're
imagine.
and tickets so go on sale in 5 days. So if you're looking to
Yes.
pick up tickets, June 30th at 10 a.m. is when they go on sale on the West Coast. So
Also New Japan, wink wink, wink
oh,
wink,
exactly.
wink.
Oh, and did you see the other event that they're having that same weekend?
New Japan? No.
Yeah.
What's this one?
They're having an NJPW Strong taping, Fighting Spirit Unleashed
Oh, okay.
2021.
So are they opening that up to fans as well for
Yes,
Strong?
they are.
Okay, that I didn't hear about.
Yeah, Monday, August 16th in Long Beach at Thunder Studio, which I don't know where in the
So
world Thunder Studio is.
they will have live fans for that.
Yes, they will have
Well, if it's a
live fans.
studio, they can't. If it's a studio, they probably won't be able to have that much.
No, it's they have general admission standing seats at $60. Well, standing room,
Okay.
which is $60. Ringside C is 80. Ringside B is 100, and ringside A is 120.
Okay, so
But
here we go. Thunder Studios is on Santa Fe, South Santa Fe Avenue in Long Beach.
you know,
Do you know where that is?
I know where it is, but I don't know. I've never seen it.
Okay.
But
I
I
don't
know
think
it's a
I've been there
warehouse.
before.
I know it's a warehouse area where there's a lot of warehouses around the
Let's
area.
see. It does look like I'm looking up some
Mhm.
photos on Yelp.
It's off of Del Amo.
I wonder if I've been here before for an event or something.
I don't know. I didn't even know they had anything
I'm
like that.
trying to
But
look at
what
the
wait, doesn't NWA shoot from there sometimes?
I think NWA is usually in Atlanta as far as I know.
Well, I know they shot some stuff here in LA,
They might have.
and I'm just kind of like
But if it's a
wondering if
studio, it can only be like probably like a couple hundred people we're talking,
yeah.
basically. But that's good. So they're doing strong and they're doing resurgence.
Mhm.
Okay.
Didn't even know there was a studio there, but
Oh, okay. So here's a so now we were talking a little while ago about the SummerSlam tickets and how just expensive they were.
yeah,
So tickets did go on sale for SummerSlam to the general public after the pre-sale, and apparently they sold pretty well. And last I heard, they sold 36,000 to 37,000 tickets out of 41,000
hmm
tickets available.
yeah,
So I imagine those early numbers were probably for like hotel blocks and like the really like rich VIP people who can pay that much. Tickets were still very expensive, but they did go down. And
yeah,
the nosebleed seats are pretty cheap for SummerSlam.
yeah. I mean, it's affordable. Like if you want to go
Yes.
see it and you don't mind sitting all the way up in heaven with Al
Yeah.
Davis, you're good. $25.
Yeah.
You and
There
Al could be watching wrestling together.
yeah, but it's 35 it's so it's like 35 25 for those cheap seats
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So at least the tickets now the floor seats were another story. Floor seats we're talking like 1200 $10,000 basically.
yeah, yeah,
And this is Ticketmaster. These are not scalpers. Like crazy.
yeah.
But
And
they
you know,
are almost
Ticketmaster.
sold. I mean, credit to WWE. They're doing a stadium and they are almost sold out. So
Yeah,
they probably will be a sellout by the time they get there.
yeah, and you know, Ticketmaster has their new rationale pricing or whatever it is. If the event is popular, tickets may be a little higher
I
or
did
go
not
up.
know they're doing that.
Yeah, they're doing that now because for Foo Fighters, tickets were $99 a piece, and there was a lot of people there and a lot of people going through. It's a weird. I'm not a fan of Ticketmaster. I've never been a fan of Ticketmaster. We've used the
Ticketmaster has been around for like forever and a half,
yeah,
as I recall.
and you think that over the years it would have perfected their system. I mean, when I was working in pro sports, we used Ticketmaster in the ticketing system, and it's just not
Why is Ticketmaster the only game out there?
well because Ticketmaster was bought by Live Nation. So
Okay.
Ticketmaster and Live Nation are the same company.
Okay.
Uh, and they're the go-to tickets. They pretty much run the whole ticket gamut.
But
And
even
and
like
I,
I remember Ticketmaster was the game even when I was a kid, even before like we had like home internet and stuff.
yeah,
It was Ticketmaster.
yeah. Oh, and Access, AXS is another one. That's AG's ticketing
Okay.
system.
Now, looking at I still think the stage is going to be part of this closed off area at Allegiant. Because I don't think they can all come out from that tiny aisle.
You know, that's a big stage and a lot of room too.
Yeah,
You really
because
think about it.
I feel like if you're closing off that many seats, Mike, you're gonna need a big stage.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at here, I want to give you the diagram again.
Oh, I was gonna pull it up right now to see what tickets look like and
Yeah,
show the
yeah.
fans, show everybody who are watching us on YouTube, and we'll
And there are
describe
still
it.
tickets available
Yeah,
all
there's still tickets
across.
available.
Let's see. I wonder
And
where
just to let
I want to
everybody
see
know,
where
we are not
the
paid
most
in any way.
expensive.
We're not paid in any way by WWE to help them
Yeah, yeah,
promote or
yeah.
sell anything.
There's
So just
still
let you know.
floor seats available if you have $1,000
Yeah.
bucks.
That just still blows
Two
me
thousand
away.
bucks.
I mean,
If you
that's
have,
a lot of money.
that's more than a car payment.
Yes.
It's like 10 car payments.
For a couple hours of wrestling. Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong. I love wrestling. There's a reason why we're doing this podcast because we love wrestling.
yeah.
But $5,000 is a
On one.
little much.
Okay, section floor 4, row F, 7,300 $7,346. That's before taxes and fees.
Yep. And I just pulled it up so after people know that we're not joking about this at all. That was section 4, row
Yeah, so
F,
there are still good seats, but you're
row E. Section
don't
4, row
expect
E, $1,800.
don't expect to go on a nice vacation. Don't expect
Mhm.
to pay for a nice hotel room.
Yep.
Don't expect
Don't expect to be gambling,
don't expect to be, yeah.
or maybe you would want to gamble.
Maybe
Try
you
and make up your money.
try and make
Oh,
that money.
I see the seating chart has changed because it's now. Remember when we first saw the seating
You're
chart and
right.
we're trying to look at everything? It was just like up to right here,
Okay.
section. What section is this? Section 113
Okay, yeah.
to one.
So have they added more seats, you think?
Yeah, they added more seats because this wasn't open before.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they do gradually add a few more seats as time goes on. But look at that whole, like, okay, look at that kind of gray box to the left of to your left.
Yeah, right here.
Do you okay? Some of that's got to be the set and entrance, right? Or will
Yeah, I'm thinking it is. I'm thinking it is gonna be
because I
set
don't
and
think that's skinny. I don't think they're going to use, because if they're going to make this a big WrestleMania type show, they're not going to have like a skinny MSG type aisleway.
yeah, and I think this is just like to make people think that there's a camera well there or a
Maybe,
camera
okay.
square, but nah, that's not that. That would be in the direction to the
I
stage.
don't think that whole thing will be the set, but I think they'll put a big backdrop or set piece over there, maybe.
Exactly, because I don't even know if these tickets. See, these tickets are unavailable. So
Are all
something
those
tells me,
tickets okay?
yeah. So something tells me that those are
Will there be a camera well there?
beats hell to me.
Okay.
The way it's really deceiving on how everything's gonna be laid out because that is what I thought the entrance was gonna be right
Well,
there.
maybe that's like, you see, that's what I thought at first too. But
Mhm.
then why would you black out that whole other side of the stadium unless you're going to be using it like for your setup and your backdrops
Mhm.
and your entrances and whatnot? I feel like they got to have some plans for that if they're not
And it's
opening it, because
to me,
that's 20,000. That's 20,000 tickets they could probably sell.
and what I don't get is why won't they use this new area
What is
where the
this area?
sliding glass? That's
Oh,
the where Al Davis's memorial torch is. It has the glass in the
okay.
back opens up and gives you a nice, beautiful skyline of Las Vegas of the
Well,
strip.
how do you know they won't use it?
We don't. I don't know.
Why don't
I'm
you?
just going by seating charts.
I mean, we have Larry Gladstone's email.
Yeah,
Maybe we can hit her up
I think
and
we
give us
should.
some more insight on this.
I think we should. We should ask her because I think to me if I'm filming this and I'm shooting this for TV, for me that's a waste because it's going to make it look even better. It's going to really give it a pop. It's going to give it a shine, especially when they're coming out from the stage, walking to the ring, and you see the strip, the Las Vegas strip in the backdrop. I mean,
I
dude,
bet you they're
that's
going to do some good shots of that. Some
yeah,
good shots of the arena,
yeah.
some glamour type stuff.
Because to be honest, when I look at SoFi Stadium, I only imagine what they're gonna do when WrestleMania is here at SoFi, because there's so many great angles on that stadium. It's
Hmm.
it's ridiculous.
Okay. Any thoughts on Samoa Joe returning to NXT? And now we've got a new sheriff in town.
Not really. Haven't seen enough yet, but I saw his confrontations with Cross.
How
I'm
about that
curious.
though? I mean, a little while ago we thought Joe was out of it. Then I guess they had
Because
what's the
supposedly there's,
what's the opposite of buyer's remorse? Seller's remorse?
I guess I'm not, I can't think of it right now. But there is supposedly a rumor that they're getting carrying cross ready to go to the main card.
Okay, well, about that, Karrion Cross and Bronson Reed, they had dark matches last week. This week they worked main event in singles matches. Karrion Cross was on his own without Scarlett, and according to PWI Insider, it was just Karrion Cross and Bronson Reed
Yeah.
on their own for main event. So apparently, I think Dave Meltzer said on Scarlett, and I'm just double checking here. Scarlett is going to, Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio says Scarlett is going to be tested on her own tryouts on SmackDown, apparently.
Hmm.
Do you think they're going to separate Scarlett and Karrion Cross?
That's what it seems like, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They
I
do
don't
need
like
to get,
that. I think they're good together.
yeah, yeah. So do I. I think they're great, and I think that that's a great pairing. But something tells me if they do have her try out for to get into SmackDown, it's to fill in the amount of women they've let go
Okay.
in SmackDown to really beef up that SmackDown women's roster because
Now,
it's pretty light.
earlier you were talking about shaking up things on the roster. So
Mhm.
here is the current rumor. This
Okay.
comes from Andrew Zarian with the Mat Men podcast.
Mhm.
Are saying the WWE draft is back on August 30th and September 3rd. So that's right after SummerSlam. So it's a week like shortly after SummerSlam. So in a couple months from now, the rosters could significantly change for Raw and SmackDown.
I
And
think
they are
it's
in
needed.
bad need of it.
Yeah, I think it's needed. They really need to shake up things because how many times did Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley have to fight each other?
It's a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's
Well,
been a
even in Smack.
recurring problem.
Well,
How many
even in
times do we need to
SmackDown.
see Rhea Ripley and
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair, you know?
Even in SmackDown, like Roman Reigns, who's left that Roman Reigns hasn't beat?
He did wrestle Cesaro once.
Was it Seth Rollins? He hasn't fought Rollins yet.
Yeah, but Rollins is a heel.
Yeah, so if you have to go through the whole card, heel and non-heel,
And Daniel Bryan, and he had the match with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's, I guess, gone for the time being.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they say he's gone for good.
And Braun Strowman got fired.
Yeah.
So
So
they're
what do you?
firing main eventers.
Uh-huh.
So I guess they're gonna try to get Cena. The rumor is they want Cena for SummerSlam.
Well, and Cena's pitching it too in these F9 promotional
They've been doing a lot of
previews.
promotion, so it seems like
Yeah.
Cena is coming back soon.
Yeah.
But even if Cena comes back, Mike, we can't rely on Cena to be around for a considerable length of time.
No, he has too much work. I think he has like 4 films still coming up
He's
that he
got
has to
the
focus on.
Suicide Squad, and then he's
Yeah.
doing the spin-off. He's doing his own TV spin-off to
Uh-huh.
Suicide Squad
Yeah,
for HBO
Peacemaker.
Max.
Hmm.
And then
And there's other films that he's doing.
he has that Hulu movie, that
Hmm.
comedy.
Yeah.
What was that Hulu comedy he's doing?
Good guy, good something or other.
Vacation Friends.
Vacation Friends.
So
I
he's
know it's from
already done that, but he's gonna have to do the promotion for that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
He's got to do press and promotion for that like he's doing for Fast 9 right now. And then he's going to need to do promotion for Suicide Squad. Then he's going to need to do promotion for Peacemaker, which is next year. So Cena, if The Rock is like the busiest man in entertainment right now, Cena is like the second busiest. So
Yeah.
Cena is not going to have a lot of time for WWE. He's basically, if he comes in, he's going to be in and out, basically.
And also too, Cena doesn't like the last time I talked to Cena was in
Yeah,
December for Bumblebee.
right.
And
December of
he's still
2018.
yeah, well, yeah, 2018. Sorry, 20 not 2019, 2018. Time goes by fast.
Yeah.
when I interviewed him, he was still kind of big, still kind of had that
Yeah.
wrestler's body. I look at him now, and he looks like he's trimmed down.
Hmm.
I mean, he's still muscular. He's still
Hmm.
really strong, but it looks like he's kind of like
Interesting.
trimmed down.
Well, he is 44 years old too.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably when you get older, isn't it probably harder to maintain some of that
Oh,
muscle mass?
it is. I mean, even for I like I haven't worked out in a long time,
Yeah.
but I'm
Yeah, he
46.
is 44. He's
Yeah.
44.
I'm 46, and it's hard. It gets harder as you get older
Yeah.
to be able to keep up and to stay in that and to build the
Excuse me.
muscle mass and everything. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Even to lose weight is tough.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not easy.
So if Cena comes in, he's probably mainly coming in just for that SummerSlam match for Reigns, provided everything works out.
But he
And
did say on
he
Jimmy
is
Fallon,
saying he is coming back. He's just
yeah,
not saying when.
and he did say on Jimmy Fallon that his final days in the ring are not. He hasn't hit them yet.
Okay. But let's be honest, how much like he's kind of outgrown WWE, don't you think?
Oh hell yeah!
I think he'll
He's made a
continue
nice
being
career on his own.
he'll continue being like connected to WWE as like a goodwill ambassador, but I mean, he does not need WWE anymore. He
Nope,
doesn't.
exactly. And like this guy. When you really think about it, him and The Rock both had the same
Yeah.
pathway into this movie industry, and they both
Yeah.
worked their ass off.
Yeah.
They worked really hard to get to where they're at. John Cena is working really hard to get to that level as well. Why are you gonna mess it up going into wrestling? And
I
you know,
think
and you never know what's gonna happen. You could get hurt. You could break a leg. You
well,
could get seriously
I
injured.
think for Cena, I think he still feels like he owes something to WWE and Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, The Rock, apparently he's still willing to wrestle Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
for example. It's just will The Rock even have time?
When is he free?
Yeah,
That's my
I don't
question.
know, but The Rock, I think The Rock would do it like for his. I think he's doing it more though for Roman Reigns and himself
Yeah. Yeah.
and the fans to some degree.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think now that Reigns has this sort of heel character, I think he would help him out that way.
Yeah.
But they want to do, I think, The Rock versus Roman Reigns in Dallas.
Mhm.
So, but The Rock is not a young man either anymore. The Rock
Exactly.
is 49,
Mhm.
and he is and do not get me wrong, The Rock is the fittest 49 I have probably ever seen.
Yep.
But as Jim Ross says, Father Time does no jobs.
Mhm.
So
Exactly. And
I
that's
have
why I
no
say that
I have no
I
doubt The
really
Rock
don't.
would be in shape and would be ready to go for a WrestleMania
Mhm.
match, like a one-off against Roman Reigns. But when I say he's 49, I just mean the clock is ticking on when you can, not just the clock on when he can realistically do it, but also his schedule. And
Mhm.
Cena also has an insane schedule right now.
Yeah. I mean, look at now. He's filming Black Adam as we speak.
The Rock is Black Adam, and Cena is doing, Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, and those are huge franchises, man.
Mhm.
Those are
Exactly.
those are $100 million franchises.
And if you've seen the trailer, which came out this week for Suicide Squad,
The new one, yeah.
I was laughing when John Cena when they're pitching him and what they're fighting, and when he says, "Isn't that's also slang for butthole?" And
Yes.
they all just look and I
Starfish.
mean,
Starfish.
yeah, starfish, yeah, is also a slang for butthole, and I was laughing because he pulls it off and he goes, "Not a butthole." I was like, "Starfish."
Everything's kind of just matter of fact with him.
Yeah, and it's just so he really does play it very well, and I could see, or I haven't even seen the movie yet, and I could see why they decided to go with the spinoff.
He's got charisma.
He really
He's
does.
got it factor. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I agree. I agree.
And he's a nice guy.
He's not my favorite, but I
Yeah,
cannot deny the it factor.
yeah, he's a nice guy. And when he talks to everybody, I mean, that guy is willing to talk to everybody. And that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
Okay, so let's see what else.
I was gonna say, what are you laughing about?
Oh, I just saw this. There was this thing about. I'll show you. It's unrelated to wrestling, though.
Oh, okay.
There was something on Twitter about like this Luke Skywalker statue, and like made by Gentle Giant Studios. Do you know Gentle Giant? They make a lot of
Yeah,
collectibles.
yeah.
And then there's for the promo shots, there's like a promo shot of Luke's rear, and I'm like, wow, we have not seen a close up shot that you know of Luke's finely sculpted glutes, and I'm like, man, that's the galaxy's ass, you know. It
We had to
reminded
go
me.
there. We had to
It
go there,
reminded me.
huh?
It reminded me of that. It reminded me of Endgame. Like,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, that's America's. I'm like, hey,
Hey,
go for it, Gentle Giant. You know. So
exactly.
there, I
It's all
sent you
yours.
the.
There you go.
So, and I'm like, I don't know, because it's the fact that they did the promo shot. I'm like, okay, why
Yeah.
not? And
Why not?
I am comfortable expressing that.
Oh, so am
I don't
I.
mind. No big deal.
So am
But I
I
just
after I
thought
hit
that
that
was a great. I
water
like,
polo style.
that was a great joke in
Mhm.
Endgame. You know,
Yeah, it was. It was.
it was great.
And that's why I
They
want to see the
didn't
whole
they
Suicide
didn't kill
Squad.
it. Yeah, and Suicide Squad looks funny. It
Yeah.
looks like I really like King Shark. King Shark looks really good in that movie.
It looks like this may be one of DC's
It's like they're doing
well,
like their own Guardians of the Galaxy, basically.
exactly. Exactly.
And then they had a new Shang-Chi trailer
Hmm.
that has abominations in it.
Was that who
Or
that was?
it looks like Abomination.
No, I didn't know. I just kind of like trying. I didn't see the trailer fully and frame by
It
frame
looked
yet.
like Abomination. Okay. Okay, so let's go to Dynamite. Dynamite is on not tomorrow. It's on
Nope.
Saturday,
Saturday.
prime time. So they are not going to be back on Wednesday until June 30th. So Dynamite has kind of like just been in this almost kind of holding pattern too,
Yeah,
when you think
I
about it.
agree. I think they have been.
But this Saturday will be live on Saturday night, and they're going to have a huge matchup: Kenny Omega versus Jungle Boy,
Mhm.
Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs, the Bunny versus Chris Statlander. That's a good matchup.
Yeah, that
And
is a good.
Matt Seidel versus Dante Martin. I think this will be a good show. I don't know. I don't think the ratings will probably be that much better on Saturday
Mhm.
night,
Yeah,
but at least they'll be live, and at least they'll be prime time. And I think originally the Jungle Boy match was going to be a couple weeks earlier, so they moved it back. I think this was the right move because now it's going to be live, and they're going to be able to give it a big match feel.
exactly. And they've been really building up to this match. Last week was great. That build up and seeing the way how Kenny Omega was kind of fooling around with them, and it, I mean, I hate to say it. I would love to see Jungle Boy as champion, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think Kenny
I
Omega's
still
gonna
think
come
it's
to
too
that.
no, I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah,
And I still think it's a little too early for Jungle Boy. But
I agree.
I think Jungle Boy is like I feel like he's like one of the homegrown AEW stars. He's like he's a guy who had an indie career before AEW, but now he's a guy they can market as like one of their own guys, basically.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so MJF. What do you think of MJF coin?
Still think it's a joke, but I
It's
don't even know what
apparently
it's at
selling
right now.
well.
Is it selling well?
Apparently it jumped. It jumped off. It jumped up.
What is MJF coin worth now? Oh, $3.23.
It's on rally.io.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. Oh, it's
Here, I'll send you the link.
oh no, I have it up right now.
Okay,
Let me bring it up with
it's at
everything.
3/3/23.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad? You know
Um,
about digital crypto.
it's better. It's better than Dogecoin. But even though I'm happy that Dogecoin is coming back up, but it almost looks like they're NFTs too.
I don't know. I
Like,
don't even understand how crypto works. So.
okay, well, like the NFTs is not fungible tokens, and what they are like virtual or digital artwork. And I don't know if
What
stickers are digital artwork, but this may
what
be.
good does digital artwork do you? Because like you can't hang it up on your wall.
I don't know, but the kids like it.
You can't get it autographed.
No,
So why is it? So why is NFT so hot?
I don't know, but I was thinking of starting and selling my own photography,
Okay,
which mean there is a way where you could actually with like video and photography that you could print it out in a way,
right.
but I don't know
But
how
if you have
to.
if you have digital artwork, you can turn it into prints or things or whatever you want.
Yeah,
Really,
exactly,
you can
because you
turn it
have the
into a
right.
mug or a T-shirt.
Yeah, you have
So
the
what
right.
is so so what is so special about an NFT? You can't duplicate it, or
Yeah, you can't duplicate it. There's some duplication issue because that's what Kings of Leon did, and they did a album.
Mhm.
They only released a certain amount. They only released a certain number of this one album, and that was it. That's the only way you could get it.
But
It's not being
was
sold
it
anymore.
digital only, or was it?
Yeah, it was NFT.
I don't get. That's so confusing to me.
It's interesting.
Because if
Like
it's
with
digital, like you, because can't you, if it's digital,
yeah,
can't you rip it and copy it however you want?
I think it's because of the fact that it's on the blockchain that there's a security issue to it. So people will know if you were
What if
ripping it
people
off a
hack the
contract.
security?
Well, that's another issue altogether.
I apologize for my ignorance
It's
on
confusing.
NFT and crypto.
To be honest, it's really
So
it is confusing,
if
but
I'm
like
like, yeah,
some crypto makes sense
okay,
into how it's used, and like Bitcoin was based off of the
okay,
blockchain and built on the blockchain. So there's a lot of security issues. There's ledgers and to keep track of things and how people are selling things and things like that. Dogecoin was a meme coin that was just created just to make
right,
fun of Bitcoin. So I don't know how that works out. But like this MJF coin,
yeah,
it just seems like a it just seems like a fun coin, a meme coin,
okay.
which makes
I
no
mean,
sense why they
dog
did it.
coin is a meme coin, is it not?
Doge is because it's supposed to be
Isn't it pronounced dog?
no, it's Doge. It's Doge coin. Is how it's pronounced.
Are
Doge.
you sure?
Uh-huh.
I've heard differently.
Yeah, it's Doge coin.
Let's see. There's actually a Yahoo Finance article about this.
Okay.
The correct
Well,
pronunciation is Doge.
told you.
I was
if I
skeptical.
if I don't know how to say it, I shouldn't own it. So there you go. And I have Dogecoin right now.
Okay, well, I apologize for my lack of knowledge on digital crypto, but I feel NFT is like custom art, is like custom digital artwork, is it not?
Yeah, it's custom digital artwork that's limited in supply or limited in sales.
Okay. I mean, I mean, I guess
It's
respect
a,
the hustle. You got it. Make your money.
yeah, it's a new
Shoot your
game.
shot.
I mean, it's a real new game. It's only about 10, 15 years old, maybe 20 already.
But
But
do you think it's here to stay, though?
yeah, it is. It is. I think it's gonna change and form and be different in a lot of ways because I have a
Okay.
feeling because with paper money being what it is and being printed and everything like that,
Okay.
like and to be honest, if you look at a Star Trek movie, it's almost like little by little it's foretelling the fact that everybody's gonna eventually have credits. Credits is gonna be like your cash and you buy stuff through that. And it's gonna be
Star
like a
Trek,
big
they're not supposed to have money.
yeah, but
They have credit. They have credits for the Ferengi, I think,
yeah, or
and
something like
and
that.
Latinum.
Yeah, so there'll be something off topic again, but still,
But
it's
yeah,
it all relates back to MGF.
I'm fine with the no money part.
Yeah. Well, it just makes it easy. Like, it's just it's still hard to explain, and it's still hard to friggin' figure out how it's going to be. But by the time we're like in our 70s and 80s, they'll probably be mainstream.
Provided the Earth is still here.
Yeah.
Knock on
Knock on wood.
knock on wood. But on June 30th, MJF will be wrestling Sammy Guevara. How do you
That's
like
gonna be
that?
a good match. That's a match I would definitely make sure I
Going to
see.
be the main event too.
Yeah. There's been a lot of beef between them ever since even when Chris Jericho allowed MJF into the inner circle, and he's always was against him being a part of it. And now we're finally going to see that culmination in the ring, and I
Yeah,
think it's
because Sammy was kind of the he was the one who got the inner circle again. He was the one who exposed MJF
yeah,
for the inner circle.
yeah,
Okay, what did you see the cage match though with Jake Hager and Wardlow?
I did.
What did you think?
It was kind of odd.
Yeah,
It was kind of odd.
I wouldn't want them to make that a regular occurrence.
Yeah, like that's why I say like one time,
Yeah.
that's it, that's fine. But like, and it was on a Friday night, for their 40th Friday night show, so it didn't bother me. It was just kind of odd. And I'm
Okay.
wondering, like, were they really punches? Like, were those real punches, or
Hmm.
were they just doing wrestling punches?
All right. So here's another homecoming for AEW. They will be doing Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on August 11th and August 13th. So they'll be doing Dynamite and the debut of Rampage on Friday, August 13th
Yeah.
in Dr. Britt Baker's hometown. So way to
Okay.
go, Britt Baker, the champion, is getting 2 shows in her honor for AEW in August.
Yeah. What do you think of the promotion for Rampage? Because
Oh,
they're already showing.
the promos, I think
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I think they're good, and I like the fact that it's only going to be an hour.
I think it's the right move. I think I'm happy they're finally getting Rampage.
Hmm.
I don't know about the TB. I mean, the TBS move is kind of like wait and see right now how
Yeah.
it plays out.
Yeah.
But at least Warner Media is getting behind Dynamite. That's the important thing. Or they're getting behind AEW.
Yeah. I think so.
Because I was kind of getting worried because they announced that show. They didn't call it Rampage, but they announced the show in I want to say January 2020. So
Hmm.
we've been waiting a good like year and a half to learn about this third hour show. So yeah, I don't think they need more than an hour. You can pack a lot in an hour. Just use the time wisely.
I agree.
WCW Saturday night was an hour
Yeah.
most of the time.
Hmm.
A lot of WWF WCW syndicated programming was only an hour
Well, there was
on
that
a lot
main
of the
event.
networks.
Main event was like about an hour when it, or an hour and a half.
Was Raw? I forget. Was Raw when it first came on an hour, or was it always 2 hours?
I thought it was 1 hour when it first came on.
I think like I'm talking like 1993,
Yeah, that's what
like
I'm
in the
thinking.
vanilla.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think you're
I
right.
thought it
I
was
think
an
it was
hour.
the original. It was just a 1 hour show.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think 1 hour, and I think you'll be able to people who aren't getting TV time on Dynamite will get TV time on Rampage.
Hmm.
Some of the less, and you'll be able to build up more people. Hopefully, we'll be able to see more women's matches and whatnot. And I think they're gonna. Cody has hinted that they're gonna start a trios title
Yeah,
or a 6-person tag team. I think that's a good idea.
yeah,
And I think a women's tag team title would be a good idea too.
I think so too. I think it'd be
Just bring in more women.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, and people have been critical of the AEW women's division for a while, but look at what Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa did, and then look at Britt Baker now, who's like she's one of the top stars in the company.
yeah,
And now they're doing Pittsburgh shows for her. So I'm very happy about that.
yeah. And
I think it's good. Like I think it's good the way they're marketing their events, I think is top notch.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they did this Pittsburgh thing, and they've already got a poster like built around Britt Baker because she's the hometown girl.
Hmm.
That's like the way you do it.
Yeah.
Because people, I mean, whether she's a heel or a face, people in Pittsburgh are going to want to see the champion like representing them, you know?
Hmm.
And it's a great story for like the people of Pittsburgh. People
Yeah.
care about that. Like wrestling fans like that,
Yeah. I agree.
especially the local fans. So
Mhm.
I think all this is very good.
I agree.
Okay. But so we have that. We have MJF coin, and we have MJF versus Sammy Guevara, which is a great match. And Dynamite, not Dynamite, Impact has been going on, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we've been on the. If
Impact
you've been
has been
taking
going
a
on.
break,
I watched the last match today with was it Eddie Edwards?
yeah, it was Edwards and Kojima versus Violent by Design for the tag titles.
Yeah, and I didn't get to finish it because I had to step away for a phone call. But Impact has some good wrestlers. They have
They
some really
do,
good
they do.
wrestlers. It's kind of just like I don't know if they hit that bump with wrestling fatigue, and they're the ones who get axed out. But I'm not sure. It's like Thursday. The Thursday move was great, but
Well, they have their own night for now. They have their own night to themselves,
yeah,
but they're a smaller. They're a small promotion now. You know, they're not touring. They don't have fans, so I imagine they might be able to get fans back soon.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think MLW is too.
Hmm.
But I guess the best thing going for Impact right now is that Anthem owns them and they own Access TV.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, they own the network. So they own the product and they own the network the product is on.
Yeah. I think out of
So,
anybody, they need to go back on the road because I think
oh yeah.
that helps them a lot.
The thing is though, they're not TNA anymore and they don't have the names that are able to that were able to draw like they were in TNA, and some of the top guys in Impact went to AEW, like Brian
Right.
Cage.
Right.
But supposedly they have Slammiversary in July,
Hmm.
and apparently Slammiversary happens after those non-competes for the release WWE stars from June, or I guess no April, the ones from April 15th, they'll be free to appear at Slammiversary next month.
Yeah.
And apparently that's Fightful says they're going to have some surprise debuts.
I'm looking
Kind of
forward to seeing who they're going to bring in.
kind of like they've already brought in Andrade
Hmm.
for AEW. So Andrade got ahead of the game though,
Yeah.
because
He did.
Andrade I think was smart because he got out of there before they could fire him.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
he probably would have been fired during the spring
Which it's
cleaning.
always better to leave on your own than to
Yeah,
get fired.
I think for because it showed well he left of his own accord basically,
Yeah.
and I think he was smart because he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah. I agree.
Callisto, and look, no disrespect, man, like a Callisto, your friend, because Callisto is a great wrestler, and
Mhm.
it's just it's sadly part of the business. It's just one of
Yeah.
those lesser parts of the business. Okay, anything else we should go over before we close it out tonight?
No, I think we have everything already pretty much covered for this week.
Oh, I
Uh,
have one more thing.
okay, perfect. What else?
WWE WWE Boston TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, September 13th. So then when is Clash of Champions? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm thinking
So
it's
Raw's September 13th. Clash of Champions is the 26th. Okay. So I
okay.
got those mixed up.
Okay.
So Madison Square Garden, September 10th.
Yeah.
TD Garden, Boston, September 13th.
Hmm.
Columbus, Ohio for Clash of Champions, the 26th.
Hmm.
So that's how so like Northeast in September and then Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
So Good for the people of Boston. I'm happy for them.
Exactly. Everybody needs to go out and see some wrestling right
So
now because
go
that's
out
my
and see Raw at the TD Garden, September 13th. There you go.
that's why I say, like, I would go out and see wrestling right now, but I'm not paying 250
hmm
bucks for what I want to see.
I'm
I'm
not
waiting
paying.
till they
I'm
give.
definitely not paying 7,000. Got a
Yeah, I'll wait
floor
till they
seat at
have
SummerSlam.
a Raw or a SmackDown show and it comes into LA. Then I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, there we go.
Not 5,000. Sorry, not paying
Okay,
5,000.
so off topic from wrestling, you and I will be seeing
Yep,
Black Widow on Monday. So
exactly. I'm
I'll
looking
be,
forward to seeing
yeah,
it.
Black Widow, Marvel. It's finally come. We've been waiting over a year for this movie. We're finally gonna get to see it.
Exactly, and I'm
So
excited. I'm
no,
excited. I'm really looking
we
forward
can't
to
talk about the movie, but we can say that we're seeing the movie on Monday.
it. Yeah.
Rerun Trading, John Conroy and Demon Cord. What is that?
Oh, I don't know. I just made it. I just ignored it. You know,
Well,
people
thank you
comment.
for commenting, Rerun Trading. If we're here usually weekly for This Week in Wrestling. So if you ever want to come and talk wrestling with us or just whatever, shoot the breeze, feel free.
Exactly. Exactly. And we'll be building some more like as we go on and we start building this a lot more and everything starts coming up. Uh Definitely it's going to be something to look forward to because we're talking, we're reaching out to a
But
lot
yeah,
of organizations and hopefully soon we'll be getting some guests on.
yes, and then but until that time, we have Black Widow Monday, and I'm
Yep.
very excited about that.
Yep.
So yeah, screenings are kind of getting going again here in
Yeah.
LA, which is nice.
Yeah. I'm just glad to be able to go out and shoot again and be able to
Yeah.
do things. So yeah,
How is SoFi? You went to SoFi, by the way, for
yeah.
side at WrestleMania.
SoFi is
Feature.
amazing. Like that arena, that stadium is really nice. And the canopy on top, they have open slots that slide open to allow more air in. It's weird because it's like you're
Yeah.
sitting inside and especially for LA, somebody who grew up in LA their whole life. We've never had a dome stadium or any type of stadium covered. And finally sitting in a stadium which is covered is kind of weird. It, and especially where it allows free air to come in. I can only imagine what it's going to be like when WrestleMania kicks off because that is going to be amazing.
Something to look forward to.
Yes, definitely.
Even though we
2023.
couldn't get it, this year in 2023.
Exactly. 2023. It's going to be that's this WrestleMania no matter where you're from, where you live, it, that's the one if you're able to come down because something tells me this is going to be a big WrestleMania.
Is it construction all done?
All done, completely finished. It is nice.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it is one of the nice. I It's the first arena that I've seen. Like when Bank of California opened up, it was the first arena they've built since I think it was Dodger Stadium, an outdoor arena since Dodger Stadium. Now with this one, it is nice. It is different. It is so different. That's why I say if anybody's listening, you get a chance to go check it to go to a concert or a Rams Charger game, go check it out, especially if you're a wrestling fan, because you're gonna be able to sit there and only imagine what it's gonna be like when WrestleMania hits. And that ribbon board that they have is just top notch. That's why I say if you get a chance to go check it out and only imagine what it's gonna be like with all the fireworks, the pomp and circumstance, the music, and how exciting you're going to be to sit in one of those seats and be a
And
part of this.
probably like the Axis stuff, they'll probably have
Hmm.
maybe not there, but they'll probably have stuff outside or some
At the
other
like
stuff going
convention
on.
center
Yeah.
or something, and
Mm.
that's going to be. I'm telling you, start saving your money now because of tickets. I'm hoping tickets aren't as expensive as they are at SummerSlam, but they probably will be.
All right. And also for me, you could check me out on Twitter at Wheeljack83. My other wrestling podcast, the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. And you can check out my reviews and some of my other interviews at 411mania.com. I will be reviewing Black Widow for 411mania.com as well. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. And you can find me here on MUSE TV. We have tomorrow. It's going to be going up. It's going to take us a little time because it's a lot of footage that we got, but we were able to go see the reopening of Warner Brothers Studios movie tour in Burbank, and got to see that's new Friends sets that they have, and also the Batcave, where they're showing all the DC comic stuff, and it is nice.
Which Batcave?
It's literally just made up like the Batcave, but they have a video board where they have all the Batmobiles coming into the Batcave.
So it's not a specific Batcave.
It's not a specific Batcave. It's just like the Batcave, a lookalike of the Batcave, and trust me,
A generic
really
Batcave.
Nice. It's a generic Batcave, but it's really nice. They did a great job in improving the studio tour. But as always, you can catch us on musetv.net, Muse TV on YouTube. The podcast is going to be going up tonight onto all platforms, so I'm going to get that ready as soon as we get off the air. Jeffrey, thanks a lot for being a part of this. Thank you for, I think this is our 12th episode or 13th episode now. So I thank you to everybody who comes on board, who watches us live or watches us afterward.
Hey, Nathan, thank you for your comment. Nathan
Exactly.
Rita, thanks for
Especially
coming
with
in.
guys like Nathan coming around. And don't forget, Tuesday nights at 11:30 p.m. is our Loki watch party and after show. Having trouble speaking right now. I don't know why. Loki watch party after show at 11:30 p.m. Tuesday nights. And we're going to be back talking about Loki and what that's going to be like. We have an announcement coming up in July, a very big one. So stay tuned for that. And thank you once again before I leave and we cut this show out. Thank you to everybody at Tascam who provide our audio boards and everything that's coming in. Really appreciate it. We love your partnership, and they're celebrating the 50th anniversary. Check out the Model 12. That's what we're using. It's a great board. If you hear it, definitely something that if you're looking into getting into podcasting and you're looking to do more than just that, the Model 12 is definitely the one for you. So thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you next time here on Muse TV.
Stay safe, everybody.
Wait, sorry, not Muse TV. This Week in Pro Wrestling. Sorry, yeah. I got my gigs mixed up on This Week in Pro Wrestling, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.